Part of me
Well-
wishes I got into the Warhammer universe when Kyle did, because like there's a movie coming. It feels like there's a thing there that I'm not enjoying and maybe would have.
It's really
It's a cool universe.
So like you should watch a lore video that sort of does the full story in 20 minutes. That I've seen one that does that. It's captivating. It's interesting. I really like the idea of the Warhammer universe and what it's all about. There's lots of factions, obviously, because it's based on a turn-based board game.
And you can be the Space Marines.
Well, if you're playing in the game, if you're playing Warhammer the game, like we're rolling dice and stuff, and we've got models, then you could play as you'd have a squad of Space Marines. There's so many different factions. Like there's any, I don't even know how many different groups of Space Marines there are.
A couple dozen though. Oh, of Space
way
Marines.
more. So initially there was 20 primarchs, which are the sons of the Emperor. Essentially, they're demigods, and each of them had a group of Space Marines that numbered in the thousands that were that had their genetic traits implanted into them, and they were turned into these super soldiers that wear the armor. There's the Salamanders and the Ultramarines and the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels and the Thousand Sons, and there's 20 of them.
Are they on the same side?
Well, initially they were all working together at first, but then later on in the lore, there's a big civil war where 9 of them go against 9 of the others. 2 of them are redacted, and they're this deep, dark mystery that there's almost no lore about. Their names have been like completely deleted from the records. Their statues destroyed. Like any mention of them invites like violence and death upon you. Like you can't speak their names, and no one knows who they even are anymore. But after the Great Civil War, once the evil side was overthrown and the Emperor was mortally wounded, and then placed upon the Golden Throne, which is this life support system that, because he's immortal, he dies and resurrects continuously for 10,000 years. He's in never-ending suffering, so that he can sort of like Atlas hold up the whole thing. He's doing a lot of things. He's at this point he's a god. He's in charge of this like great galactic beacon that allows every ship to navigate without him keeping that lit.
What's his name?
The Emperor of Mankind. He has no name, or at least it's not a name that anyone knows.
Is it like it's been lost to history? It's just been so long, that kind of thing?
He doesn't say it. He never tells his name, and he's the Emperor of Mankind. That's what he's known as. I have never seen anyone who came up with an actual name.
He looks like Jesus in a Space Marine suit.
Yes, he is see, that's the thing. He appears as you want him to appear. So what he actually looks like is like a short little brown man. But when you look upon him,
we're really getting the Jesus thing here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Why is the suit so big? And so is he like a little guy in
Space Marine suits look like that?
No, he's a huge man. He appears as large as you would think him to appear.
Sure, but he looks like he's wearing his dad's clothes.
Yeah.
Well, he's enormous, and the armors are enormous too. The pauldrons or whatever on the side. That's what he looks like now, more or less. He's interred upon the Golden Throne, a rotting. They call him the Carrion King. But at this point, he's essentially a god in the 42nd millennia or the 41st millennia, which we're in now. He's transcended beyond like a human psyker, which is like a mix between like a space wizard, basically. And he's essentially a god. In one of the books that I read recently, he went into one of his sons who has been resurrected in the current, like in 41st millennia, like current like lore, all the primarchs, the sons of the Emperor, are either dead or missing, or they're just the evil side and they live in hell essentially and only come into our realm to like fuck up shit occasionally. You don't see them anymore, but his best son, more or less, the guy who's the best, the autistic son, the one who was the planner, the organizer, the one who could pull everything together, Guilliman, has been resurrected, and he is back, and he is the biggest, strongest, fastest, smartest thing that you can imagine, and he's getting the Empire back together to go fuck some shit up. That's what's happening in the lore right now. and he had to fight the god Nurgle and Nurgle's chosen fallen Primarch in the Plague War, and Mortarion, this evil Primarch who works for Nurgle, who's Reboot Guilliman's brother, essentially hits him with this thing called the God Blight, which is the most virulent, poisonous thing that you can imagine. Is created by Nurgle, the god of decay and disease and resurrection. And it's melting his armor. It's so virulent and evil. He's dying. His flesh is dripping off his bones. Dying, and Mortarion's standing over him, gloating. Yes, you will die slowly, and I will take your soul to my god Nurgle. I will be great in his favor when I deliver you onto him. And then suddenly, like, Reboot Guilliman's eyes start glowing golden, and he starts speaking with a voice that's not his own. And the Emperor has returned and is speaking through him. The Emperor, who's been dead for 10,000 years, has shown up and has embodied himself within Guilliman. And the armor starts sewing itself back together. The wires start forming from nothing and going back together. And he fucks Mortarion up. And Mortarion's trying to run. And Guilliman goes into hell to the garden of Nurgle and sets it on fire and burns it down and threatens Nurgle. And it's a really cool moment.
It's not a nice garden.
It's a garden of evil and filth and
he paved it.
Yeah, it needs to be burned.
Yeah. But anyway, the lore is really fucking good. I love getting into it, and there's so much of it. There's the main cast of characters. There's those Primarchs and the Emperor, but then there's other factions. There's history like that goes back to the war in heaven and the Catan, these star gods and all this crazy stuff. But then there's Necrons who are incredibly advanced aliens that live in these necrodermis suits. It's like living metal that have no souls. And there's the orcs that are like a biological weapon that's from olden times that still exists. They're just these green-skinned, war-loving creatures. The more they fight, the bigger they get. So sometimes they'll have a war boss who just keeps winning, and so he just keeps leveling up. There's no level cap, so they'll just get as big as a house. They'll lose arms and they'll grow back. They don't care. Like, their brains will get splattered out, and they'll just take another orc's brains and mush it in there. There's the Tyranids, which are from another fucking galaxy, and they're here to just eat ours. They're not on anybody's side. They're here to eat. They eat the calcium in the rocks. They eat the people. They liquefy them, suck them up into their bioships, and then move on like locusts to the next planet. So that's made a lot of the more normally evil races, like the Necrons, are like, whoa, wait a minute. We've got our beef with the humans, and the orcs are garbage people, and the Eldari, the space elves, are just disgusting. But these Tyranids are just animals. They're here to eat us all. We're going to have to work together a little bit here. We're going to have to pool our resources and do something about this.
Are the humans competitive?
Yeah. The humans are very competitive because there's trillions of us. There are trillions of people. They live on these planets that are hive worlds, and each city will have billions of people in it, and there'll be multiple billion people cities on the planet. And then there's like thousands of planets. I think there's 1 million planets in the Imperium. They use the word 1 million a lot. So the humans.
Do we have any other advantage? Teamwork or fucking tech?
So the Emperor was very against religion. There's a great short story where he's going to burn the last church. It's called The Last Church, and he has this talk with the last preacher in the last church, sort of weighing religion versus science. And in the end, he burns the church down, and the priest walks inside and burns himself alive with his church. But the Emperor was so against there being gods, because it's the belief in gods that gives them power. So he hid the fact that there are gods in hell, the warp, from humanity, and when it's that sort of was his downfall. But now, because he's been 10,000 years on the throne, the people have been worshiping him. All the trillions of humans have been worshiping him for 10,000 years, just constantly empowering him with their belief. So that belief has transformed him into a literal god. So he's become the thing he hated the most at this point. The Space Marines are awesome. They have crazy technology, but part of that religion, part of their like ethos is you can't improve upon technology, because that's blasphemous. We already peaked. Why would you try to change this? And so there are groups who are like, I didn't change. I didn't improve. I didn't innovate, because that's blasphemy. I just reorganized. So they'll just sort of talk their way around it. There's a great character called Belisarius Call, who's I won't go into it, but he's one of the best characters in the whole universe. He's been alive for thousands of years, and he's all mechanized. He's barely human anymore. And he's like this wild card character who's playing everybody. They just recently upgraded all the Space Marines to Primaris Marines. They just made them all better. Added some stuff to them.
Space Marines are humans. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they start as humans, and they go through this long, rigorous process just to even be considered to be a Space Marine. And then they start as children, like I think 13 or 14. And then every year they're constantly adding more organs to them. They get a new they have two hearts.
You could use another pancreas. Just saying.
Yeah. They have two hearts. They spit acid. They have a layer of stuff underneath their top layer of skin that allows them to interface with their suit, so that they operate that big cumbersome suit like it's a second skin. It takes immediate input from their skin. They've got lots of surgical changes. They're kind of immortal, like a Space Marine. Like there was some Space Marines in the original Civil War that were interred underneath this building that collapsed, and they've been under there for 10,000 years, going insane. So when they find them, they're just insane, begging for
shots
death.
At their first responders, but they seem incompetent.
Yeah, they left them down there on purpose. They were shitheads.
For 10,000 years?
That's a lousy response time.
When a Space Marine is mortally wounded, when he's really fucked up, but he's still alive, they'll put his body in a dreadnought, which is they take their adamantium or whatever, and they create a coffin, and they put you in that, and then they put that inside a giant war machine of death, and then you live inside of that now, and you speak with this mechanical voice, and really you're just a husk of a little fetus essentially inside of it. But they're the most hardcore. They only do that for the best of the best. You have to be respected to get a dreadnought chassis and armor, and those guys sleep between battles. That might be thousands of years. So every couple thousands of years, they wake up and they're like, "I am awakened," speaking with their mechanical voice. "Where is the Xenos, the heretic, the enemy of the Emperor?" And they're like, "That way." And they're like, "Say less." They're just there to kill. It's great. There's a funny short story about a chapter that forgets its Wi-Fi password, and so they got to wake up the dreadnought that's been asleep for 3,000 years to get it.
Are the humans sad on the hive planets? Because that sounds terrible.
Constant suffering. There's lots of great videos that are top 10 worst jobs in the Imperium.
I watched that, and one of them was they chop you all up instead of your one eye and a hand, and then you're a vending machine, and it's this is an inelegant solution to a. You could just have a cabinet.
The great downfall of man from its original highest peak, which was transcendent, bordering godlike technology, where they had control of time and space, and they could travel without going to hell, because that's how they do it now. They go to the subspace realm of the warp, which is hell, and exposure to that invites demons and all sorts of stuff. But they had AI. They had these men of iron who were so overwhelmingly powerful. This abominable intelligence, as it's known now. They conquered the galaxy no sweat, and they were the masters of everything. But then the AI rebelled against them, and the war against them was humanity's downfall. And coinciding that was this great warp storm that prevented intergalactic travel or interstellar travel, and so man fell back down into being barbarians on Earth. So now AI is completely outlawed. You can't fuck around with it, or you're just burnt at the stake. And
nobody lives on Earth anymore.
Oh yeah, they do now. Yeah. It's Terra.
That's probably where the rich ones live.
Yeah.
Well, if all the other ones are shitty hive planets.
There's lots of great planets. Well, there's all sorts of planets, because there's a million worlds. So there's agro worlds where they do nothing but grow corn. This whole planet is nothing but corn. And then there's forge worlds where they do nothing but industrial weapons. And then there's definitely worlds where they just grow people. A little bit of everything.
A breeder world.
Yeah, sure. That book I sent you about the Vraks or whatever, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are pretty cool.